What's up, guys? Stephen Bogrand here, Pro Physique. Today what I want to talk about is how to properly progress volume. Alright, so what's up, guys? I know last week was a little light on the videos, so this week we're going to try and pick it back up a little bit and get everything going again. I know it was a little bit heavy last week, so I figured why not lighten the load a little bit, sort of talk about something training-wise that we can all maybe relate to. So, how do we properly progress volume? I think this is a great question because a lot of time it's really easy to just throw volume at somebody. Hit them with that volume. Bah! And I see it happen from a lot of trainers a lot of times. And so what we'll see is we'll say do 4 sets of 12 on this exercise. Then go do 4 sets of 12 on that exercise. Then go do 4 sets of 12 on that exercise. Then go do 4 sets of 12 on that exercise, right? So it's just volume, 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 right? Well, what weights are you lifting, right? Does it depend day to day? Okay. But it all starts with actually paying attention to what weights you're lifting. Now, I think I am of the mindset that a lot of the accessory exercises and movements can be RPE based, especially if you're a moderate to advanced lifter. Beginning lifters, I think it's even more important because they tend to, not really be able to feel it out. So it's very important that you have at least main exercises where you're tracking volume and testing. So being able to properly progress volume always is going to require that you have some sort of at least a sub-maximal test to assess your maximal strength. If we don't know your maximal strength, it's a shot in the dark. Boom! We don't know what's going on. So that's where it all begins. It all begins with saying, hey, let's get a 5 RM or a 3 RM or a 1 RM, right? Let's find out how strong you are so that we can give you the proper percentages for whatever your current goal might be. Now, maybe you want to get stronger. Okay, so we probably need to work in the higher percentage ranges, right? We want to work above 80%. Maybe you're just trying to get bigger. So maybe we can still stay around that 80%, and every so often we'll go above that. But we don't really need to get too far away from that 80% range, right? Maybe, say, like, we just want to be better. We want to be able to lift longer. All right, so maybe we stay in like the 60% range, maybe the 55% range, right? So at that point, we now base our reps, our sets, and our weights off of that maximal strength, right? So the weight's going to be dependent on the reps, right? So once we have that, we're actually able to start looking at what our volume actually is. Now, I know that a lot of people like to keep workout logs of everything they do, and data is great. I am a firm believer that too much data can be a hindrance, though, unless you are getting towards that elite level. And here is why. You get caught up in the minutia, right? It's really easy to get lost in all these details and all this stuff that's going on. When the truth of the matter is, pay attention to a couple main lifts, watch them get stronger, watch your accessory stuff get stronger. Push yourself, don't kill yourself. You're going to make progress, right? Because obviously you guys know I'm huge on the recovery aspect of things too. And if we're overdoing it, then we have less room to recover, less time. And so when you're a newer lifter, say that where you have to go for adaptation is here, and your inability to recover is here, right? So we have this whole window which we can work in now to still receive benefit from our workouts, to get stronger, to get better. The more we train, the higher our training age gets, the better we get, the smaller that window becomes, right? So when you get to that elite level, there's a very small window of training enough to still get better, but not training too much to injure yourself or to not be able to recover or to be stuck. So tracking your volume is the easy way to start to understand, hey, let's get within this window. Now, the more advanced you become, the more specific everything's going to become, and the more all that minutia matters. So if you are an L.S. McLean, a Lane Norton, a Chance Mitchell, a very high-level powerlifting athlete, at that point, yes, pay attention to the minutia. Yes, pay attention to the details. They matter. But if you're a Steve Bogrand, it's not going to be quite as imperative that you pay attention to all the minutia. The more you lift, the better you're going to get. The more you're going to be able to pay attention and handle those things. Don't worry too much about it right out the gate. Understand that getting in and doing anything is going to be a huge benefit to you. Now, we've sort of talked about, okay, how do we know what volume is? There we go. So how do we progress volume now? And progressing volume is going to be something that's different based on each individual athlete, because each individual athlete can handle different amounts of volume. Like myself, I handle a very high amount of volume and do quite well with it, whereas other people do not. They need a lower volume, otherwise injury occurs. And so that is something to understand about yourself as well. And if you haven't been doing this long enough, to understand that you have to feel it out. So, when we increase volume, here's what we want to do at the end of the block. And this is always my opinion. And you can disagree, but I think that it's an easy way to find out how well your programming has worked and to reassess if you need to change anything. And that is simply to do an AMRAP and as many reps as possible to help you to see where your maximal strength is, or to simply test maximal strength again, right? So when we go through our block, right, we can now test maximal strength. Now we could stay at the exact same rep scheme, the exact same sets for the next block, but if our maximal strength has increased, our percentages, our weight increases, and our volume increases. Very easy way to increase volume there. Of course, I would definitely recommend taking a deload week just to give your body a rest, especially if it was a very intense or difficult, challenging block. Another easy way to increase your volume is, say that maybe you didn't get stronger, but you enjoyed the workout. Maybe your body composition improved a little bit, but you have some things to work on for strength. Maybe muscular endurance has gotten better, right? Maybe we can look at saying adding a rep in on each set, right? So our overall volume for the week for that movement now still increases, but the overall demand on you is still within reason, okay? So instead of like 3 sets of 5 at 350 pounds, we go to 3 sets of 6 at 350 pounds. We could also add in an extra set if we wanted to put in a little bit more volume, depending how you respond. And so all these things are very athlete specific, but things to consider when you're trying to progress yourself in the gym and get better. Remember, too much volume, what you're going to see normally is that performance will suffer. It's what they call overtraining. I really prefer to call it under recovery, because if you could recover enough to keep up with it, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when you see decrements in performance, that is normally a good time to tell you that it's time to take a deload week, test up, and then enter into a new block. Performance decrement is probably one of the easiest things to look at to see if it's too much or if you've just been going too hard for too long, okay? So guys, these are really just some simple things on how to track, understand, and progress your volume. It obviously gets much more in-depth, but that is a lesson for another day. So until next time, guys, Stephen Bogrand, talk to you soon.